So, guys, we're going to try this one more time, right? I've changed, I mean, I think it's a Twitter issue, but I've changed out the service provider to a new ISP. I've added software. I'm trying to get Mahi in, and then let's just try it one more time. If it goes down, then we know it's not going to work today. So everything is all changed out. I hope it works for you. Software, you can unmute and just maybe just make sure we can all hear you, and then we should take it from there.
Okay, yeah, thank you, sir. Yes, of course. I hope everybody can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Ben, let me quickly try and bring you in, so that we can see how far we can go tonight. Dr. Ben, please, Mr. Carlo, can you please send Dr.
Yeah, I've
Ben
sent him
an
an
invite?
invite.
Okay.
Um,
So I don't know if my already
I
have the
also sent
link.
her an invite. So I would just say,
Okay.
guys, just roll. No, just go
Okay.
straight to it. Just do your show. She was going to hop in, and then you guys just take it from there. Lots of guys have hopped back in 3 times. So
Okay.
just roll and take it from there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So, Dr. Ben, I think you actually the one speaking before we went off. But before that, please, I don't know if you're joining us here for the first time. Uh, we actually started a subject on career optimization in tech. So somehow we had a network glitch and we went off and we tried to like come back and hopefully we'll not have the network issue that we had initially again. And you're welcome. And this is basically tech talk in the house. So we normally have this. We're trying to have this every weekend. And so we had the first one last week, and now we're just trying to just try as much as possible to have it continuously from now, probably once in a week, just for us to keep enlightening us and trying to bring everybody up to speed in their various careers paid, especially in tech. And me and Dr. Ben and Mai have always tried to pioneer together with Mr. Kalu. And so we are grateful for Mr. Kalu for always hosting the space for us. So basically that's it. So, like we said, today we are looking at career optimization in tech. So we have actually done introduction, and so just in case you missed that, Dr. Ben, when you have the mic to speak, so you just do a brief introduction of yourself again, at least for the set of new people that just joined us now. And please, you can kindly share this new link to your timelines, to your WhatsApp group, to whosoever you feel like this topic tonight is going to be valuable to. You can share the link so that they can join. And our DMs are always open for interaction. If you have, in quotes, valuable discourse for us to talk about, so please, our DMs are always open. You can follow me, you can follow Dr. Ben, and you can ask your questions. Our timelines are always full of educative content. You can check and see which one will benefit you. If you have any particular question regarding text, you can also come to the DM and ask. And if there is a valuable answer for us to give, we'll definitely try as much as possible to do that. And Dr. Ben, please, I will need you to talk about the topic of tonight in brief. And please, also use the opportunity to introduce yourself. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Real quick, let's just try and jump straight into it without no delay. My name is Benjamin, professional digital marketer as well as cybersecurity professional. I'm the national marketing manager for New Horizons Nigeria. And New Horizons Nigeria is the world's largest IT training institution. We're in over 85 countries across the world. And in Nigeria, we have over 10 centers spread across Nigeria. In Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Akure, I mean, name it, we're there. So yes, career optimization. This is a very good topic because it's wide and if I'm to summarize it, we might not finish today, but I'll try my level best to speak on every part. Because for career optimization, it really depends on your career path, to be specific, because for every different career path, you need to approach it in a different manner. So let's get started. Let's get started straight up. So first thing first, when you want to optimize your career, you need to first set down your goals. What do you want to attain? What do you want to achieve? You need to put time frames to these things. If you don't put time frames on anything, you'll just be following the wind. And it will bring you to. It will be very great if you know that tech professionals are in demand greatly, and they earn a lot. Well, outside Nigeria, they do earn a lot. In Nigeria, you need to be really good to earn a lot. But it will bring you to know that the unemployment rate in the tech space has gone to as 2.5% as of May 2022, and the average salary scale is about $1,400. This is according to pay scale for tech space. So yes, it's in high demand. So by the time you put your coming back to your goals, by the time you put your goals together, the first question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to spend 4 years? I'm talking from the beginner because I told you that we need to put time frames. So I'm going to start from the beginner, right? Now, do you want to start your career in the tech space by paying for a 4 year course in the university, or taking that money and investing it in a coding boot camp? Or do you want to specialize in a career track that takes long to master, like let's say, for example, data science or AI? The choices you need to make at every stage of your career would always come, and this has always been the dilemma. But I bring good news for you, because with proper planning and proper commitment, you can always take this decision, and you can always get the best reward in your tech career. So yes, by the time you're optimizing your career, you look at the first year, right? Then from the first year to the third year, right? Then from the third year to the fifth year, then from the fifth year you go to the 10th and plus. So what should you be looking at on your first year in tech? You just left university, you just did your IT, or you just did your NYC, and you just want to venture into tech. What should be the first thing you should be looking at right now? Well, if you're going to be going into tech, you need to know exactly what you want. You need to know what kind of tech you want to go into. What kind of tech career do you want to go into? Because at the end of the day, some of us, we know exactly what we needed to go and do out there. We knew exactly how to get there, what we needed to do. And some people, they're still trying to test the waters to see what works for them. And this is totally okay. Even if you get your first job, or you don't even have an idea in tech, and you get your first job, even if your first job teaches you what not to do in tech, it's okay. It's still a learning process. You learn as you develop in your first year. So what do you need to do? You need to know what appeals to you as a beginner in tech. What appeals to you? What works for you? Do you want to work for a startup? Do you want to work for an established firm? Do you want to work for an SMB? You need to set all this out, because there are different approaches to this organization, how you can apply to them, how you can get started with them. So starting up with startups, it's quite, it's a new organization, and you can always learn in the playing field with mentors and professionals. In a startup, in an established firm, they can always invest in you to learn more. They want you to know the fundamentals, and they can take you for trainings and whatnot. And some of us try working for small and medium scales organization, because they would need someone like us. They could need a front end developer to manage their website. They might need a system administrator. So yes, all these categories of organizations can appeal to you. You need to choose one. What am I going to go with? Am I going with startups? Am I going with established firms? Or am I going with SMBs? You need to take that decision. Now, prepping to apply for a job in any of these organizations, the first thing you need to do is to leverage on everything. Every experience you have, everything you've done, you need to leverage on it. Because most hiring managers, or most people that interview you for your tech job, your first tech job, they really want to see your passion. They really want to see how well you can communicate effectively, how well you can work in groups, and how passionate you are with what you say you want to do. because they look
Please
at
go
all
ahead.
these and ensure that, yes, hello? Okay. So,
You can continue,
software.
Dr. Man. You
Okay.
can
So,
continue, please.
okay. So they look at all these things and they say, okay, fine, this person is good enough for this role. They have the basic potentials to become an employee of this organization. Now, you also have to look at you need to rely on your personal projects. If you're a developer, if you're going into programming, if you're going to become a programmer, if you're going to build things, you need to do personal projects. And these can be done with GitHub. If you know GitHub, you have to have a repository there where you put all your projects there. If you're a graphics designer, you might get a social media page and put all your designs there. If you're a web developer, you might have a website you've designed. I mean, graphics. You have a website you've designed. Put your designs there. Put your portfolio there. If it's an app you build, put it on Play Store and have a link that you can share with people that, hey, this is the app I built. You can test it out and whatnot. So pretty much it just allows the hiring manager to know that, okay, this person is credible enough and this person can work for the organization. And this is the first year in tech. This is your first year in tech. If you don't have any skill at all in tech, this is where you start from. So you need to first leverage on everything. You need to know the organization you want to work for. You need to rely on projects, as well as you need to also do research. Research. If you're going into tech, if you're going to optimize your career in tech from 0 to 100, you need to first do a lot of research. If you're going to apply to any organization, it's basic 101 for any interview. You need to do background check on the organization, what they do, what they stand for, their motto, their vision, their mission. You need to know all this and how does it apply to your skill. Then you need to approach this like a story. Storytelling sells. I did mass communication in my early days, and I tell you that if you're able to tell a good story, you win everybody. You get. So if you have to tell your career path to if you're to tell your skills to an employer, you need to tell it in a story format. How you started, how you got where you are, but you need to put in mind that any place that soft sells or hard sells your potentials, you create emphasis. Oh, I did mass communication in high school, but then I moved into graphics design. I designed and understood what the front designs, fonts means, what color combination means, what imaging means, what communication needs to do with communication in logo designs and whatnot. You need to emphasize so the iron managers knows that this person is good and this person knows the onions, right? So that is the first stage in your tech career. Then you also need to master soft skills. Soft skills like leadership, communication, as well as working with people. It's really important because at the beginning of your tech career, they can put you in a team to support you, to develop you. So if you're not able to work in a team, you wouldn't succeed. In tech, no man is an island. No man is an island. Nobody owns the entire knowledge in tech. I tell you, you might have to work with so many people just to succeed on a project. Then also you need to work on your negotiation skills, how to negotiate, because this will determine how well you get paid. You need to be able to let them know that, okay, I'm a beginner in this space, but I bring value, but this is what I'm worth. Negotiate and ensure that you get the best for your service. And because of the time and age where tech professionals are in demand, we have strong negotiation skills right now. We can earn more. We have the higher grounds because organizations really need our help to solve their day-to-day problems, to safeguard their assets and whatnot. Now, I'm going to breeze through the remaining years, right? And that's the third year in your tech career, your fifth year in your tech career, and the 10th plus. What you should be doing, what you should have in your life already if you're in tech. So on the third year, right? On the third year, you need to be focusing on growth. Now, this is you optimizing your career from 0 to 100. In your first year, you need to know what you want to do, what your niche is. You need to know the kind of organization you need to work for. You need to build your portfolio, right? That's the first year. Now, when you go into first year, second year, by the third year, you need to be focusing strictly on growth. That's it. You just need to be big. You need to build a network of mentors, senior engineers, senior marketers, people that have gone beyond your stage. You need to build a network of them, because at this stage, you'll be expected to be a professional, and a lot of responsibilities will be coming your way. And if you can't solve them, you need to have mentors that can put you through. This makes it easier for you, especially if you're a programmer. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. So if you have someone that has moved ahead of you, you need to pull them as mentors and create a network of mentors. Then also in your third year, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in your skills. The reasons why I say you need to invest in your skills is because um, in your third year, you're expected to be a professional, and people would want to see that as your certification. So you need to add more skills to yourself, get certified, as well as add more value to yourself. Because now we know that in 3 years, you've been a digital marketer working for a certain organization. What else can you do other than digital marketing? You need to add to yourself. I would take myself for example. I started with audio production, voiceover, video. I went to graphics. For every stage, I kept optimizing, because I realized that when I do graphics for people, they now ask me, so what am I going to use it for? When I do voiceovers for people, they ask, what am I going to use it for? Then I dropped into digital marketing. And one day, one of my social media assets got hijacked, and I was wondering what happened. Then I went to study security. Like, I need to know how they did it and how to prevent it. Because if this can happen to me, it can happen to any organization, and I must be able to prevent it before it happens and show them all those loopholes. And that's how I went to what? Cybersecurity. So even 8 years down the line, you ask me, like, I've developed a lot of skills other than what I started with, which is digital marketing and graphics, right? So you need to develop your skills. It's really important you add more skills to yourself other than what you started with a year or two ago. And you need to take a look at your certification, because as at this point, hiring managers wouldn't be looking at you as one young guy or one young person or one young lady. They want to know what you can do. So at this point, you need to add certification. You build your mentors network, you invest in your skills, become better and become a professional in it, get certified in it. Really important in your third year in tech. You need to do it for you to succeed in the fifth and the 10th. Now, you need to add value to your leadership skills. Train yourself, because at this point, you're probably mentoring people in the first year and the second year. So if you're not a good leader, you can't lead a team, you can't work with people, then it's a problem. So you need to build on your optimizing your career. You need to build on your active listening, becoming an expert communicator, able to express your idea fluently and being concise. You need to also focus on results, because on your third year, you'll be giving KPIs. Even some organization in your first year, they give you KPIs already. So you need to always focus on results, because it's those results you add underneath your belt. And that is how you optimize your career from year one, year two, year three. And positivity is the key in IT. You need to be positive minded that it's going to work. If you're building a particular code, you need to be positive minded that it's going to work. If you're going to introduce a new product in the market, you need to be positive minded that it's going to work. And this is the motivation that will take you through the first year, second year, and the third year. Now, by the time you move to the fifth year in your IT career, there's a whole different ball game. Now you need to look at the long-term goals. 5 years from now, what do I want to attain? Focusing on how to ensure you remain valuable, remain an asset in the IT industry, because IT is very dynamic. If you don't add value to yourself, you become obsolete real quick. So I'm gonna give you a brief through around the fifth year and the 10 year, the 10th year. You need to build long-term networks, people that you work with on major projects. You need to also advance in your soft skill. You need to know how to optimize talent. You need to know how to be impactful in coaching. You need to know how to strategically delegate roles and positions. And finally, you also have to bear in mind that the tech space is very, very dynamic. And if you're going to be doing anything in tech, you need to always advance yourself systematically all through your years until you get to the 10th year and become a legend in the tech space. But really, nobody really becomes a legend in the tech space, because as you become a legend, there's a new technology coming out, so you need to keep reading and studying, and basically, and that's how you optimize your career in the tech space in a nutshell. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ben. You said a lot. I was even looking at what else would anybody else want to contribute after saying all of this. Maya, I don't know if you are if you are available yet, so you just give us a brief roundup of career optimization in tech, so that we can do that as quick as possible before we start taking questions and contribution from every other listeners here. So, Mayi, can you hear me, please?
Yes, Joseph, I can hear you. I really agree to whatever Dr. Ben just mentioned, like how you can create a career path or optimize bases right from your when you're in college, and then once you start going up your career. So that was a great plan for someone to just get started. So I believe that there are different kinds of career paths, right? One, you have like you have knowledge based, and then you have entrepreneurial based, and then you have skill based, and then you have something called as a freelancing based career path. So I believe that each career path has different set of qualifications and experiences that are required, and each career path has different sets of, I guess, parameters that an individual must choose. So now not everyone would be interested, like there's something called a knowledge based or a skill based career path, right? So if someone wants to like get into this 9 to 5 model where you're working for an organization, so they fall into the knowledge and skill based career paths where you are working towards the skills the employers are seeking, and you are working towards the knowledge is something which you acquire as and when you start working, and as and when you grow in the industry. So that's how you acquire the knowledge. But skill based professionals are something that okay, this is what the employers are seeking, and this is what I need to upskill myself on learn on. So if someone is into, so all of us like who are working for employers, we fall into the career path models of freelance I'm sorry knowledge or skill based models, right? So then there is another career optimization path which is called entrepreneur. So some of them right from there in the college, I've noticed a lot of them are very keen that they want to do something on their own. They don't want to work for someone, but they want to be their own boss. For that, it involves working on different kinds of skill sets. You need to grow yourself on how to talk to clients, how to engage the people, how to get in people, how to grow your business along with the technical skills. And then the last career path model is a freelancing model, right? Some of them would just say that, oh, I don't want to be an entrepreneur, or I don't want to work under someone. I want to work at my own convenience, sitting at my own place while I'm traveling. So you're independent contractors or freelancers where you can just choose your particular projects or geographic locations you want to work, your skill set, and you can also decide your own pay, right? So I believe that even before you choose on how, I guess it's important to choose what exactly you want and what kind of career path models do you fit into, and then you can decide yourself accordingly, and then prepare yourself for the next step, like how Dr. Ben mentioned, that create a career map for yourself and what are the steps required for in order to get a job, or what are the steps required in order to become a freelancer or in order to become an entrepreneur. So I guess before we go into the why and how aspects, it's important to decide what exactly we need, and that itself will help us optimize our career in a better way.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you very much, Mai. And just for the sake of the people that are just coming in and for the first time, please, I would really like you to do a brief introduction of yourself, because when we start taking questions, we are going to be kind of like passing questions based on our strengths in terms of the speakers we have in the house. So I will appreciate if you can just do a brief introduction of yourself, so that the listeners will get to understand what you do, and most importantly, who you are.
Yeah, sure. So I am Mahi. I am currently working as a senior tech recruiter at an investment bank in the US. I've been in the tech industry for over 10 plus years. I've hired a lot of great talent across different kinds of skill sets and different kinds of levels. I've had experience working for different locations like US and Asia Pacific. So this is what I do during the day. And during the night, I'm a content creator and a blogger where I create content on tech and on Twitter and YouTube, where I'm helping a lot of tech aspirants and job seekers to pivot and learn more in tech. So I do a lot of research and put up curated resources on my timeline in terms of internships, return to work programs, companies that are hiring, interview tips, and so on, and also a lot of recertifications and stuff that's going to help a lot of them save time in doing their research and then just get on started with their tech career journey. So yeah, this is what I do, and I'm really happy to be part of this space.
Thank you, Mai. I'm trying to bring in Mrs. AK. Mrs. AK, please, if you can hear me, please, I'm still waiting for you to join the speakers, and I'm also trying to bring in Sean. Sean, hear me, please. I've sent you an invite. Please try and join us so that we'll have a brief rundown of the subject before we start taking in questions and contributions from the speakers. So before that, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Joseph or G, whichever one you prefer to call is fine by me. If you prefer to call me G, fantastic. If you prefer to call me Joseph, fantastic, right? So I'm a software engineer, so I'm a blockchain Web3 developer, and I've been on this field for approximately the past 10 years. I like using the word approximately. So so basically that's that about me. So I want to speak on career optimization in conjunction to software engineering, and I want to speak from okay. So I'm sorry. Let me just briefly speak on career optimization and in software development. So the little thing I will say, in conjunction of what the other speakers have been able to say is, whatever you do in software engineering, create a niche. That's the most important thing. I don't know why I'm having some kind of so whatever you do in software engineering, create a niche, right? Is extremely important that you create a niche. And what do I mean by creating a niche? You make sure that people knows you as a particular specialist in a particular field. People should know you as a front-end developer, or people should know you as a back-end developer. So if you have a niche, then you work on building yourself in terms of that niche. If you're a front-end developer, your first career goal is to get an internship, right? You try as much as possible to get an internship position. If you can get an internship position, you build. Nobody starts a career by not working, right? So there is a difference between I knows how to code and I knows how to build production ready applications. So these two things are two different things. You might have learned how to code from whatever, maybe your school or your own personal self tutoring and all that, but it's a whole different ball game when you now goes to a company and you now start hearing English like how far have you gone about the business development document? They will not even call it business development, they might even just call it BSD. How far have you gone about the BSD? Have you created a PR? You start hearing word like, have you created a PR? Have you merged your PR? Did you check the merge conflict? You start hearing what are the blockers? What are the milestones what are the milestones? What are the backlogs? You start hearing some industrial world in the software field, and you are confused, like what's going on here, right? So that is why we always advise people, when you have learned how to code, then go for an internship so that you can understand you understand industrial terms and languages that is used in software development. If you can master those ones, then you now start building yourself in terms of your experience to an intermediate level developer or a junior level developer. You start applying for job. So when you get the job, you keep building. In the next 2, 3, 4 years, with what you have been able to build, the companies you have worked with, the softwares you have been able to build, what is available on your GitHub and your portfolio, will now determine if you can absolutely call yourself a senior developer and start optimizing and charging as a senior developer. Why am I saying this word? Because senior developer is not what is in your CV. Nobody is interested. If anybody is hiring a senior developer, they are not interested. Oh, you wrote a senior developer in his CV. No. They want to check your antecedents from where you started, what you have been able to build, and what you are actually doing now. So all of your work from where you started to where you are now is what qualifies you to be a senior developer. So in a nutshell, if you're optimizing your career in software development, make sure that you contribute in applications, you contribute in open source applications. Make sure you build projects on your free times. Make sure you build projects on your free times. Make sure you work with companies. Don't run away from startup. If you go to Twitter space, you see a lot of people saying a lot of bad things from startup, saying a lot of bad things about startup, right? But don't absolutely run away from startup, because startup gives you that opportunity to learn and grow, right? And add those things at your CV. If I am a developer, if I'm a recruiter, I prefer to recruit somebody who has worked with startup, because he have been there, or the person is there when they started building the architecture of the application from scratch. All Unlike employing somebody who is just handling a particular module of an already established applications. So consider all these elements when building your software development career. It is important. Don't run away from projects. Build projects. Projects are your portfolio. Build projects. There is a kind of project you might have on your GitHub. When a hiring manager wants to speak to you and he goes and check your GitHub, he downloads one of your project code and run it, and the thing is running amazingly. Believe you, the person will not even bother asking you any technical. Both of you might end up having normal conversation about family matter, what's happening, how do you spend your time off during, how do you spend your time off after work and all that. That this is somebody who is supposed to be interviewing you. It happens a lot because your projects are already speaking for you. So take more time to build yourself in terms of building what you have out there. What you have out there is greater than what you will tell us that you can do. Thank you very much. For now, we will quickly start taking questions. So please, if you have any questions, you can please request the mic, or we'll bring you in. We'll take your question. We'll try as much as possible to answer your questions as soon as possible. And we'll take as much as we can before we call it a day. So if you have any question tonight, please request for the mic. I will try as possible to be bringing everybody in one after the other. So okay, we already have requests, so let me just trust motion. Okay, let me bring in this one. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Kazim, right? Kazim, good evening. Can you hear me?
No.
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Kazim. I'm good to have you here. So the mic is all yours, please.
Yes, good afternoon, and everyone, and thank you for having me. And I've been listening before the. So straight to the point. I just want to share some of my insights about, from my experience and exposures in the IT industry, so that some people here on this platform at this moment can, you know, take from that and work on it. One is if you are outside the country, say maybe US or Canada, I know most companies have an employment window. What I mean by that is they have a period in which they do recruitment. So let me actually use the right word, is the recruitment window. Some maybe in January, but most of them, from my own experience in interacting with HR department, it's around September and October. This is from my own experience and perspectives of what I know. So I needed to take that as a point and try, especially for those that are looking for internship. Start preparing yourself within that period of time. And if you're living in places like the US or Canada to be specific, there are lots of volatility in the IT industry, in the sense that people are leaving one position to take another positions in the other, and this is putting a lot of pressures on recruiters for the company and recruiters out there. In the past one month, about 5 to 6 people have left a particular place I know that I don't want to mention in the same team. And secondly is when you talk about IT, I want to believe you take those of us in the data analysis industry as part of being the IT, because I know on this platform you'll be talking about software. I'm a data analyst. I basically uh, uh, have expertise in master data analysis. So I want to also encourage guys, I mean, on this platform, that you can also look into that area, especially in master data analysis, because there are a lot of opportunities in that area. In recent times, when I did a little research on LinkedIn, I just this one week, there are close to about 10 vacancies for master. I had about 2 interviews last week, and I had to turn them down at the end of the day, because of some certain things. So look into master data analyst. And if you're looking for training in master data analyst, I would recommend SAP. They have free training on their SAP community. And another thing about master data analyst, it may not necessarily be on a particular platform like SAP, Salesforce, Sibo, Novolo, and other things like that. If you have experience and hands-on for a number of periods of time or years in any of this CRM, and you've worked as a master data analyst, you can function in any of these once you are put through maybe one or two trainings, or looking over the shoulder of someone that has been doing it. Is something that you can always fit into. So these are just some of the things that I want to push out there, so that other people can gain from there. And there's another thing I want to mention. I've always tagged Carlo Aja on that, is Salesforce. Salesforce is one very big thing in North America at the moment, and you can do your Salesforce training on Trailhead. All the things that you need to become a Salesforce administrator. So Salesforce is a CRM software, or more than that. As we move on, all what you need to do is Salesforce training is on Trailhead. If you need assistance on that, you can follow me or DM me. I'll just put you through it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kazim. I appreciate this information you just shared. Thank you for coming. That's really valuable. Thank you so much. And quick one, right? So we have some information in the Jumbotron for you. Just for some people who doesn't probably like to speak on on a public space like this, you can quickly check the Jumbotron. We'll be adding some vital informations and for you over there, and whichever one you find interesting, that probably solve your problem or your queries. You can quickly go through them, right? So so quick one. Thank you. Any
And
let's
also
hear from you.
software, if I may, there are a lot of
Okay.
great questions on the DMs as well, also on the notifications. I see one saying, I have a background in HR. I am thinking of transition to tech. I am not a fan of numbers. I don't know if you guys are going to do notifications later on.
Yes. I wanted to take those on voice. That we'll go through those on DMs for sure.
Hi, can I go on?
Any, right?
Yeah, this is Annie. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear
Okay.
me now?
Any. Mira, please. Mira, sorry, I'm coming. Mira, sorry, I will soon come to you. And for now, let's hear from Emmy, please.
Yeah, sure. I think
Any, let's
Dr.
go, please.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think Dr.
Yes,
Big
we can.
Okay. I think Dr. Big already said a lot of things, and then Oji as well. But I think where I will start from is actually people should try to learn how to write good resumes. So, because I've seen the cases where I'm trying to review resume for my team, and then people are just writing stories in the resume instead of going to like key points of what they did. Like, so there's this strategy of writing good resume of, I did this to achieve this. I mean, I did this using this to achieve this. Let's say, for example, you might want to write something like, okay, let's say I write a machine learning model using Python and SageMaker to save the team about $52 million, something like that. So that is exactly what recruiter is trying to look for in your resume specifically, like what impact are you making in your current firm or in your current team? And then once those things catch the eyes of a recruiter or a hiring manager, they're probably going to be very curious to know more about you. But if you are writing a keep story like, okay, I use something to do this, that is not telling us enough about you. And then one thing I want you to know is that we don't have more than, let's say, 1 minute to go through your resume because there's a lot of resume on file. So 1 minute is enough for people to judge that, okay, hey, you are not good enough. So we need to move to another person. So I think people should learn how to write good resumes, and that will go a long way if you are trying to do that. So the next thing is that someone already said it, that software engineering, I'm a machine learning engineer myself, and then I've worked at Amazon, I've worked at IBM. I'm currently working in a financial company. I'm building financial risk models. So it's not about programming alone. It's not about software engineering. It's not about machine learning. It's not about data science alone. There's a lot of spaces where you can actually go without writing a single code. And then you'll be making six figures as well. So it's all about, as someone has said earlier, you need to find the path you really want. Is it data science? Is it machine learning? Is it business operation? It's also under tech. Is it, software engineering? You need to find what you want and you want to build on that. So I don't want people to be scared of, okay, software tech industry is all about programming, and then programming is kind of scary sometimes. No, tech industry is not just about that. It goes along. It's a lot of things. You want to do your proper research on that as well. So just want to take a time. I said also building connection is also very important. My firm, my managers always tell me this: it's not what you know, but who you know that will take you far in any company you are, and that's a real fact. So I think Oji was saying that, okay, you have to build a niche, like showcasing your work. And that is the most important thing about software engineering or tech industry. Let me give you a brief example. Like, although when you want to enter into a firm, everything depends so much on what you know. Like, how much can you, solve a lead code questions, all this kind of stuff for anything very technical. And then when it comes to like non-technical area, how can you answer behavioral questions using the STAR method? So those are the things they want to ask you. But when you get in, I can tell you, especially if you are in a very standard companies, not startup like Google, Amazon, all this kind of stuff, they have these a large code base where you don't even need to write a lot of code. Maybe 50% of your own might be coding, and the remaining 50% is managerial works. So building connection is very, very important. You want to build connection within your team, and then maybe outside your team as well. And I will say, let me give you my own maybe testimony here. I've never applied directly to any company and then going through the brutal interview myself. I use LinkedIn as a great example. Let me show you what I did on LinkedIn. When I go to LinkedIn today, if I want, let's say I'm interested in Amazon, and then I'm interested in software engineering role, I just click on hiring manager at Amazon, like software engineer hiring manager at Amazon. That is what I click on the search engine on the LinkedIn, and it's going to give me a lot of people who has hiring manager on their names. Then I can just, LinkedIn give you a way to write a short note to any people, any person you want to connect with. So I can just add a short note that, okay, hey, I am this, I've worked in this, I've worked in that, I've done this, and I'm looking into this opportunity because I have kind of experience in that area. And then you can send it to 20 people and none of them will reply. You can try again and send it to another 20 people and 2 of them will reply. So those who reply, you want to take advantage of that. And that is what I call a building connection. So I was talking to this hiring manager at Amazon, and then we were just talking about, okay, I'm interested in software engineering. At the time, it was like, okay, you have the experience and I like you, but there's no software engineering role right now. Let me give you a product management role and I can talk to the manager. I was like, sure. And then I don't have to go through the first interview of, resume review, all this kind of stuff. I went to the final round. Straightforward, just within how many minutes? Maybe 20 minutes of connection. So the stronger your connection, the better for you in the tech industry. That is one thing you should know. It's not just about everything you know. And then the last thing is for you to optimize your, let's say, your career, or, other thing is money-wise, you need to jump more often. The strategy is to spend, let's say, 2 years at every company you are. Once you spend like 2 years, jump to another company, and I can assure you that your salary is going to increase by maybe 40%, 30%. In fact, if you go back to the company you left, they probably increase your salary to match the current market value. And that's how it's done. Look at inflation right now. Companies are hiring right now at base of, let's say Amazon, for example, is hiring right now at a base of, let's say, 160,000. Whereas you who is at Amazon earlier is still making about 120, 130,000. But if you leave the firm right now and I jump back, they're probably going to increase your salary to meet the current market value. So, part of you optimizing your career is also jumping more often, trying out other firms. And then also, this is for people who are already in the tech industry, who already have the experience. For people who are just coming up, I think after you find your path, which people have already talked about, I think the next thing is you want to work on side projects. Let me use data science as an example. If you go to Kaggle.com today, there are millions of data out there. Even there's nothing you want to do in the tech world that someone have not done before. I'm going to put it out there. Like there's nothing you want to do that someone have not done before. If you go to Stack Overflow today, you see tons of code. People have written tons of questions that you are trying to ask. So you just need to know how to ask the right questions. So if you are getting stuck, just try to use Google, leverage Google to yourself. Go to Stack Overflow, open an account there, ask good questions. Tons of people will answer. I also answer on Stack Overflow a lot. So tons of people will answer your question there that, okay, this is what you're going to do is this, and this is how you can do it. So you need to work on side projects. And this side project, you want it to match the area you're trying to look into. And put all those on your resume in a very good format, like, okay, this is what I did using this and to achieve this. And then, people already know that you are new into the system, so they know that, okay, these are the side projects that you've done. And then after you've done a side project, I don't advise applying directly on the company's website. That might take a long time. I've applied directly on Amazon website for, let's say, 1 year, 2 years, no response. And then after the hiring manager, we talk and I get a job. So, and the same with when I was working at the Department of Energy, the same happens. So it's all about try to, once you have a side project, try to go on LinkedIn, use the example of what I did. If you can't go to the hiring manager directly, try recruiter. But I know that most of the recruiter has to go to the hiring manager as well to tender your case. That, okay, I have this candidate and this is the resume. And the hiring manager has to decide whether they want to move forward with you or not. So I always try to avoid going to the recruiter directly, and I just go to the hiring manager directly as well. So if you are coming into the space, I think you want to use LinkedIn for your advantage. Like, go on LinkedIn, build your profile, talk about the project you built. Like, this is the project I've done. Publicize your work. And then that's one thing I learned the hard way. So when I was working, you don't brand yourself enough. Nobody is going to recognize you. And this will affect your promotion. It will affect your raise. If you are not, your work will not speak for itself alone. You have to go out there, and this is corporate politics. You have to add all these top managers on the email that this is what I've done in the team, and this is what it's going to do, and this is how much it's going to save us. So, and then I think you want to do that as well as a new someone in the tech space. Like, go in there, put your work on Dixie on LinkedIn, reach out to people who are already working in that space. And then people, I've seen people coming to my DM just saying, hey, I think if you are going into people's DM and saying A, you won't get any response. You want to go into DM with a very strong, discussion like, hey, I'm working in machine learning, and then I see you have experience in this machine learning space, and this is the project I'm working on, and I'm just seeking your advice on how can I move further in this field, or let's say I'm stuck on this, can you help out, something like that. So you want to be very constructive in your discussion with someone because everybody is busy and then nobody has the time for, hey, how are you doing, something like that. So you want to be very, just go straight over, tender your this thing. So I would say, to wrap up my discussion, I would say go very big on on connection. And the secondly is actually making sure you speak for your work as well. You don't allow your work to just speak for you. You speak for your work as well. Like, okay, hey, this is what I've done. And then, my MD literally called me because my VP, my manager always go to my MD now. This is what Enin did. This is what Enin did. This is what Enin did. And my MD was like, because, let me tell you about financial firm. Financial firm, your manager does not determine your bonus or your salary or your promotion. No, your MD determines that. So your manager at the end of the year, they're going to take all your this thing, everything you've done. They're going to ask people, you're going to ask people to review you, and they're going to take it there to the MD, and the MD will decide. But if the MD does not have oversight on what you are doing, definitely you're just going to decide based on what was written for you. So you want to involve the senior colleagues as well on your work, and then, that is how it is. But just know that tech industry is not about programming alone, because I've seen a lot of people get intimidated. And then as well, when you're learning programming, I think this is my last point. When you're learning programming, you're going to get stuck. When I started, I think in 2016 or 2017, I was using C++ at the time, and then everybody knows what C++ is. It's very crazy. So you're going to get stuck. It's going to be like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Try to reach out. My own business is once you are trying to solve a problem for 30 minutes and you can't solve it, just Google it, okay? But once you Google it, learn what someone did. Learn what they did and try to implement it yourself, if that makes sense. So, and that is it. You probably get it once, and then the next time you say the same question, you should be able to solve it. But if you see the same question next time and you are not able to solve it, that shows that you are not learning. You're actually just copying and pasting, which is what we do 60% of the time. Once you get hired, most of the time, 60% of the time is just copying code and pasting and changing it to fit your own, narrative. And but basically, that's all I gotta say to you guys. But tech industry is not as intimidating as it is. Just take it one at a time. Set aside 3 months to 6 months yourself. Learn. Just be focused on one field. You can get carried away going through a lot of. And that's me too. I started with a machine learning engineer. I was working at National Department of Energy at Fermilab. I was building particle models, and then I said, okay, I don't think this is for me. I did product management as well. I said, okay, this is for me. This is not for me. Then I did advocate as a quantum computing advocate, and I was like, okay, this is not for me. Now I'm building financial risk. So you might not get it right at once. Just keep trying, and then you'll get it. And that's my point. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Annie, for that. But I just wanted to request all the other speakers or anyone who's going to come contribute or ask questions, please keep it really, really short. Most of our listeners are from Africa, and it's pretty late here in the Africa. I mean, for most of them, it's already beyond 9:30 and 10 p.m., and a lot of them have lot of work to do on Monday, and so most of them here are coming up for questions to seek answers. So let's give other speakers as well time to contribute, like we have Dr. Ben, Mrs. Aki, and others who can contribute. So let's keep it really, really short, and let's just keep it for a minute and two and not beyond that, so we can have more people come up and ask questions. And I did respond to a lot of questions that's come by. I guess, Mirel, you had a question in terms of HR transition to no coding careers. I did pin a tweet on top of the space in terms of different kinds of no coding careers you can opt for, and also a lot of side hustles you can do in tech, remote opportunities. There were also some questions in terms of where to find remote jobs or freelancing jobs. I've also pinned the tweet on the Jumbo Trunk on where you can find such opportunities. So if you have questions related to those, please feel free to check the Jumbo Trunk before you come up, so that we do not have the same kind of questions being asked. Thank you.
Hey, Soft, I know if you're still there, you want to take over the coordination? I've got lots of speakers. Can we do King? I have King Shola Fabolux. Shola?
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, please, I want to ask some very few questions. And the question is relating to more of where should I'm a full-time entrepreneur, so I manage a lot of businesses, and most of them are into business within tech. But personally, I learn every day. I learn a lot about marketing, software development, and all those things. But I think I find it overwhelming when I don't know which to focus on because I manage a lot of teams. I manage close to um 17 teams, yeah, on my own. And it's kind of overwhelming when sometimes you just know everything, but you don't know which one to focus on as an entrepreneur. So I'm looking forward to listening to people's advice on which will you recommend for an entrepreneur to focus on rather than just being too broad on everything on everything. Yeah, that's my question.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Ben, do you want to take up this question?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So yeah, you're doing so many things and you're trying to find out which you should focus on. I have always spoken on various spaces, and I tell people that just need to focus on your passion. Because in tech, if you don't have passion for it, you will never get results. You might know it, you might know the A to B to Z, but if there's no passion, you really not go far. Yeah, so if you're doing a lot of marketing, because I can go to your profile right now, you do a lot of business technology investor, initiative business developer, data driven, digital marketer. You need to choose one that when you just wake up, you want to do it. When you're about going to bed, you still want to do more of it. That kind of skill is what you should invest your time in, whatever you have passion for. Because if you don't have passion for it, you're just going to be going around in cycles, to be very honest, right? And you wouldn't feel accomplished or fulfilled. So definitely, I'll strongly suggest that if it's not that you have to do it, it's just a suggestion. If you are to start up with any skill, or you need to focus on any skill, just focus on something that you have passion for. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we have Adamu, who's been waiting for a while. Adamu, you can go ahead, unmute and speak, and then we have Olivia.
Okay, good evening, all. Thank you for having me. Actually, my question is concerning getting a remote job. I'm a manual tester. I'm also a system analyst. I studied business information technology. So I'm very good at analyzing an existing system or coming up with an automated system for already an existing system. So I've been trying to get a job online, but I've been facing challenges. I had 2 interviews, but the problem is my location. I'm in Nigeria presently, so they said there is nothing they can do about that for now. That I have to be in UK if I want to get a job, a manual testing job in UK. So I don't know if there's something I'm not doing right. I don't know.
Yes, so Benji, just if you can go ahead and answer that.
So Adam, mute your mic and let's have software. Do you want to answer that question? You got your hands up.
Okay, right. So I wanted to ask a question, right? You said testing. I don't know what kind of testing is it. Is it that you are testing for quality assurance, or you are testing for vulnerability? Because you have to be specific. Because if you are testing for vulnerability, that's security. A lot of international companies will require you to be on site because of what? Because of course now a lot of international companies have some security measures that they have to take. So they can't just employ somebody who is going to be testing state or government recognized equipment and allow the person to work remotely. It's not really logical for for that kind of employment to be carried out. So that's why I think there's a lot of security companies that will even request for your national security code. I don't think we have such. If you're in Nigeria, and I'm not sure Nigeria has something called National Security Code, right? But a lot of advanced and developed companies have something called National Security Code. I'm assuming you're actually talking about security in terms of penetration testing or ethical hacking and so forth, right? So I'm assuming, right? But if it is quality assurance testing that you're talking about, I would really like you to specify, right?
Hello,
I'm talking
Adam,
about
are you there?
functional and non-functional testing.
That's quality
Stress.
assurance, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then of course there are companies that will definitely allow you to work remotely, but it all depends. If the 2 you have applied now say that they need you on site, that is just their company policy. That doesn't mean that there are no any other companies out there that wouldn't want you to. So if you want to work remotely, you concentrate on searching for remote quality assurance testers job, right? Like Annie said, it's simple to search. You can go to Twitter, Instagram,
Yeah.
LinkedIn rather. So you concentrate your search on what you want. Some company that want to employ remote engineers, we specify. But those that want to employ on-site engineer, you can't force them to bring you to give you the job if what they want is on-site. So it's that simple. Yeah, Adam. I hope I answered your question, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. And another thing, I don't know, do you people have a room for incubation of product ideas? Like, if one had a very good idea where it can be looked into and maybe possibly developed it?
We basically want to keep this space as simple as possible. That is trying to take questions from people and try as much as possible to answer them as much as we can. Every other thing that is not related to question and answers can be probably talked about in the DM. So not just in order for us not to digress from whatever we are doing on this space, so you can talk about every other activities on the DM of whosoever you want to discuss such an opportunity with. Are we good, Adam?
Thank you very much.
And I think also for your first question, I think Mrs. Eke, because I think she's a cybersecurity practitioner. I think she wants to contribute to that. So, Miss Eke.
Okay, I'm not sure I have an answer to his question because he's more concerned about software testing, and that's not really my line. But I just wanted to contribute to the discussion here. Um, I want to add one point to everything that everyone has said tonight. My name is Ireti Oluwakirele. I live and work in the UK. I'm an information security manager, and I'm also a cybersecurity specialist. So my contribution is that if you are looking for international jobs, maybe jobs in UK, Canada, US, etc., etc., one of the things that you can do is that start searching for those jobs and check the job description. So, for example, if you want to work as a cybersecurity GRC analyst, for example, and one of the requirements is that you must have an understanding of a particular standard or framework, and this is an area of interest for you. You have to start working towards getting that knowledge so that you put yourself at par with those kind of organizations. And this is actually very important. So you take job descriptions, look at the area in tech that you are in currently and see how you match with those jobs. And you can now start gauging yourself to see how you can meet up to this kind of jobs. I think is actually very important. Look around these countries. I've seen a lot of people recently that have moved from Nigeria to UK and Ireland. So I can tell you for a fact that these opportunities are there. They're really massive. And this is the time to actually tap into it because they need people, especially in the area of cybersecurity. I can tell you that because I know a lot of people that have moved, people that know they have the skill set for cybersecurity. Now, the other thing I'm going to say is that one of the key things or best ways to get into cybersecurity is by getting an internship or job shadowing people. So, for example, if you have people that are good already or that understand this field, you can speak to them. Try to just understand what they do. What does day to day look like? How can you support or how can you just tap into their knowledge? I mean, from time to time, when I get some opportunities, I bring some people on board and I tell them, come and see what I do because I want them to have this kind of experience so that they can also add it to their CV. So I think it's a fast way to get the kind of knowledge that you need in this field because a lot of times if you continue to self-learn, read, go for trainings, and you don't have those hands-on experience or skills, it may set you back a bit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Eke. That's why I've always been struggling to bring you here. Thank God you are here. You're not going anywhere anymore. You are here with us till we round up today. Mai, over to you, please.
Yeah, we have Aremu and then Big Tree and Olivia. Olivia, you can go next, and then Aremu and then Big T.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia, and I'm currently a product marketer in a tech company. So, my question is this: what because I'm thinking of advancing my career in like product marketing, but I'm confused on what next because I'm already working, I'm already getting the experience. So I'm thinking maybe should I do a master's in marketing? But everybody's saying, oh, that's just going to be a waste of time. You're just going to waste time and money. So I'm at the point where I'm just confused. I don't know what next to do in order to advance my career in product marketing or marketing in general. Thank you.
Dr. Ben, over to you.
Okay, that's just great. It's good that you have background knowledge about marketing. Going for a marketing degree is just adding icing to the cake. But if you really want to excel in this product marketing stuff, you need to go for a course like digital marketing. Yes. Why? Because that is the way to go. The primitive marketing doesn't give that much results again. You can't monitor the metrics. You really don't know where to invest your money in or your marketing efforts. So if you're doing product marketing, the next step for you, based on my understanding, would be digital marketing, right? Understanding how it works, email marketing, social media, advertising, Google AdSense, AdWords, Google AdVerts, and whatnot. So yes, you need to go into digital marketing, and that would, for me, for you to be your next step in your career. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. The thing is, I already have like skills in digital marketing. I already have the Google Digital Marketing certificate. I've gone through the course. I've already done that, really. So, is there any other thing else to add to help me advance?
So yes, so if you've done digital marketing, then you can now go as to understand. You could go for something that has to do with analysis, understanding data, right? Because with all your marketing efforts and with all your product knowledge, you need to also be able to interpret data. You can go for data analysis, you could go for data visualization, because that would be the next stage. Because right now, you might not be marketing again to states, you might be marketing to continents, and this is also big data already. So you can go into data analysis, you could as well go to data visualization. I think this would be your next step if you've done digital marketing and if you're also a professional product marketer. Yeah. Olivia, am I able to answer your question, or you still need some more
Mm,
clarification?
No, no, no. I'm very satisfied. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Olivia, for that question. That was even me. I was paying interest to see the replies that are gonna come up. That was amazing. Aremu, right? I don't know if I pronounce your name very well.
Yeah, you are. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So the question I have actually is around compensation, right? So let's assume like someone is interviewing at a tech company for a non-tech role, right? So probably they have offices in Africa where, let's say, for example, Lagos, where they open an office and they want to like expand into the market. But the role they are then hiring you for requires that you will work on products they are trying to build in Lagos, and you would also work on some of their global products. So in relation to compensation, so take for example, probably you check how much they are paying people with on the same role in, let's say, for example, US. So let's say it's in a bracket of, let's say, $100K, right, per annum, right? So how can you then optimize to ensure you fill the bracket of the kind of pay you deserve? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Hello, can
hear
you hear
you,
me?
but yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
so
We can hear you.
because I know for some companies, because probably the role is then based in probably not Europe or the Americans, they might want to like cut the pay. But then how can you just optimize to ensure you are getting as much as you deserve, even if the role is based in Africa? Some along that line. Thank you.
Mai, I don't know. You get the question, Mai?
I didn't get that question. Maybe he has to roll back again real quick and give that question
Yeah,
again. I
Aremu,
didn't get
please,
it.
can you just repeat the
Okay, so let me
question?
just summarize. Okay, let's assume you are interviewing for a role, in Lagos, right? But it's for an international company. But your role, requires you working on products they are trying to build for the Nigerian market and the global market, right? Like optimized products they already have for the global market. How can you then, ensure that you kind of optimize your compensation? Because I'm aware that some companies, because the role is based in a kind of in a particular location, they might not pay you the kind of money they pay other people. Say, let's say US, probably the role is now in Africa. But then how can you still ensure, because you are now working on their products there in Africa and also working on some of their global products? How can you then ensure you are like you get the kind of compensation you deserve?
Okay, thank you. I think I get your question. I don't know. Okay, let me just quickly. I wanted to. Well, okay, let me just quickly say something. First thing, I want to say something. Right, an employee doesn't. I mean, the salary cap of a company, right? Because what I'm saying this is, yes, you are right. There are some companies that pays some staff that are in a particular country different from the amount they are paying another staff that is in a particular country. They do it for a reason, yeah, because probably they do it for the cost of living and all that. So the first thing I will say, like we always say, right, you always have the power to negotiate your salary, right? So whatever you feel you deserve, right, whatever you feel that your value is bringing to the company, right, you have to negotiate it with them, right? If it's above the company's salary cap, they will politely decline, right? If they believe that what you are requesting is something they can offer, they will go back and sit back at the round table, especially like you said, you are an active participant of a particular important role in that company. Why not? They can sit down and renegotiate and see, okay, let's keep this guy because we think he's bringing so value, and this value he's bringing is equivalent to what he is requesting. So it all depends on the company cap, like salary cap, and the value you are bringing. Like you said, you always have the right to negotiate your salary. It's a right. It's not, except you don't know what you're doing, right? If you absolutely know what you're doing, you have the right to absolutely negotiate your salary. And like somebody said here, don't work for your company for more than 2 years. I don't know about that, but then I think that's some strategy a lot of people use to also increase their salary, right? So, but what I will always say is that your value and your value is equivalent to your salary, right? So whatever you bring to the table, you negotiate it, right? You negotiate it. You sit down. If you feel like you deserve this, you negotiate what you deserve. It's same thing, right? Even in soccer today, it's not the money that Messi is collecting in the club is different from the money that another player is collecting in that club. So everything bows down on negotiation, right? So whatever you give as a value, you negotiate. If the company can afford it, they pay. If they cannot afford it, then you decide to remain in what they are paying, or you decide to step down. So it's all there's no trick, or there's no cheat, or there's no way you can divert yourself into any more or any less, except you yourself, you bring it to the table and talk about it. So yeah, that's all I have for that. I don't know, Mai. I don't know if you have any contribution to add to it. Oh,
So yeah, Arimu. If I'm to get you clearly, you said that you're looking for how to ensure you get your compensation from an international organization. Is that correct?
Yeah, you working on products that are global and products that are local.
Exactly. So you're working for an international organization that has a product that they want to localize, as well as they also want to make it global, right? That's what you want. And you want to ensure that whatever compensation you get for the job, you want to ensure that you get it as stated, right?
Yeah,
So first and foremost, you need to put it in black and white. That is the first thing I do. If I'm to work with anybody, you need to sign my contract and agreement. So even after the whole project, my terms of payment is 80/20. You give me 80 as completion of project and you're satisfied, you give me my 20% straight up and we're done. black and white. And if you don't pay me, I drag you straight up, take it to the court real quick. So whatever you're doing with anybody, whatever transaction, whether local or international, put it in black and white. Get a good law firm to write you a good smart contract or a good contract and put it in black and white. By the time I get to 80% of my deliverables, you pay me this. I mean, by the time I get to this, so you just state it in your contract how you want it to work, because I really don't know what the product is all about. But basically, for me, I get my 60%, I get my 80% straight up before I start work. Then once I'm done, you give me 20. So you put it in black and white, let them agree to it, sign it. You have your copy, they have their copy, and you're good to go. So even if after the business has gone south, you have documentation to prove that they are owing you this kind of money and they need to pay. As simple as that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for that. Mai, it seems like you have something to add to it.
No, I guess Dr. Ben and you have covered to the most part, but then I have just pinned a tweet on the Jumbotron in terms of websites you can refer while negotiating your salary, just so that you are getting the salary to the max as per what your country, as per your country or as per your location. So it's important that you know your salary of your region for your skill set and what the market is paying before you negotiate, just so that you don't lowball yourself. So just look into the tweet, look into the websites, just compare the salary across various forums, and then do your negotiations if you're still in that part of where you're yet to negotiate with your company. So that would be helpful.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Mai. Aremu, thanks for coming. I appreciate it, right? Okay, big, let me see. Big T, right? So, Big T, let's get to hear from you, Big T. Please, let's keep it short, Matt. Please, let's keep it short so we can take more questions and contributions, please.
Okay, yeah. Big T, I really appreciate this space, and it's a privilege to be here. Well, anyway, I'm new to the tech industry, and I was wondering if I can get some guidance to get a better focus. Currently, I'm learning Python actively and passively also learning JavaScript. So I need a direction to go because I'm more interested in software development. So that's my question. What direction do I go? How do I get started in this whole thing, and how do I come up to speed and develop myself and get the right skills to be able to maybe also get side jobs and everything about the tech space? I'm coming in with, at least for now, I know I'm trying to maintain the vigor and the enthusiasm I have in learning and the way forward. That's just my question. Thank you. So I need more guidance.
Firstly, right, what I will say, right, in terms of this guidance, right, I like to be very, very blunt with answers to this, right? Yes, it's always good that you need guidance, right? But the best guidance you can get, right, is Google. To be very much sincere with you, right? The best guidance you can get is Google, right? So whatever you need to do is already on the internet. Thank God for this age that we are today, right? So make Google your number one guidance. Then, if you feel like there is a specific questions you are confused, or there's a specific subject you are confused about, then you can go through your network of friends or community that are into whatever you do and ask direct questions. Everybody is busy, to be sincere with you. Because I've gotten a lot of DM, can you mentor me? Serious, everybody is busy. Everybody is pursuing money. People are busy. So coming to find somebody that will be staying with you one-on-one to be, answering questions and answer. A lot of people don't have that time. But they always want a situation where you go straight to the point. What do you want me to do? They give you a solution to whatever you want, and everybody goes their way, right? I think I will just yield my mic right here. I think Mahi wants to contribute to that. Mahi, the mic is yours, please.
Um, yeah, in terms of like you said you're starting off with JavaScript and Python, they're already trending skills. And when you learn JavaScript and Python, that means you're opening yourself to multiple opportunities in the tech industry. So that's great. And you also said that you are keeping up your wave or your enthusiasm. So that is really, really important. Maybe you're just getting started, so you have that enthusiasm, but you must have the same enthusiasm while you move forward. Sometimes when you start working on projects, it can so happen that you can get struck or there are some errors, you feel demotivated, but you must still have the same enthusiasm in order to resolve those errors and try to focus more on project based learning, like not just go into resources, do certifications, and just read theory stuff on Python and JavaScript. It's important that you start building projects. It could be any projects, right? Small, big. Just build a calculator app or just build a weather application app. There are so many project ideas on Google, or if you just search on tech Twitter, project ideas for JavaScript, Python. I have mentioned some on my timeline as well. So you will find a lot of ideas. So just pick up any idea, start building some projects. So that way you're not just reading things theoretically, but you're implementing them into the projects, and those projects would definitely help you get a job on the long run because you're understanding the concepts better. You're able to evaluate yourself, and when you start doing projects, I can guarantee you that you will really understand the depth of how much information you've actually taken. But when you're studying things in a theory manner, you would feel that you're understanding everything, but once you start incorporating all that knowledge into projects, you would realize that you've just understood maybe 5 or 10% and you need to put in more efforts. So just keep it going, have a growth mindset, be really very optimistic, and do not just give up at any point of your tech career journey. Coding is tough, coding is challenging, but have a hobby. But at the same time, I think it's important to keep going. And in order to get mentorship, or in terms of getting a feedback of the kind of projects you're doing, contribute to open source projects or be very active on GitHub, Discord. These are kind of open source communities where you can share your work and you can ask people to give you feedbacks. You can ask people to mentor you there, or if you just have any questions, you can put. It's a great way of learning and great way of taking feedbacks from people to improve yourself. And the benefits of open source, I pinned a tweet on the Jumbotron, and you also asked question in terms of how you can monetize the knowledge of yours. I think there was this question also in the question forum below. There are tweets which I pinned on the top where you can write articles or blogs, and you can earn up to $250 to $300 per article. And I've also pinned certain side hustles you can do in tech with the knowledge you have in order to earn money. So look into the tweets, and there's also tweet on how to get started if you're just getting started with tech and what steps you need to take. All the tweets are on the timeline, so I hope that helps.
Oh, Mahi, thank you very much. I think you just hit it on point. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. King Shola, King Shola, let's hear from you, please. Hello, King Shola, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm trying to bring in more speaker. It seems like King Shola has issue with your mic. Hello, Buki, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think this is like my second time of coming into this space. Hi. Is it software engineer?
Yeah, it
Hi,
is.
nice
It
to
is. You're welcome.
hi, Mike.
Yeah, nice.
It's been a while. Yeah. I think this is
Uh-huh.
Hey, Buki.
hi. Yeah, this is like the first time I came. I think that it was really, really heavy, but I did listen in. Today, I've just been in, just listening to Mahi. Everything that Mahi's just shared is really credible. So please, guys, check out those links. I'm like, Mahi, people are making $300 for article. I might actually have to think about it. So I know we talk about a lot about tech and we talk a lot about software engineering, but there are other opportunities. I'm not sure if anybody else has actually touched on it. There are non-tech roles that people should also consider. I'm really heavy in the space within project management, been a project manager for the best part of 15 years now, and I'm doing my little bit that I can do. I mean, I joined Twitter officially, I think January, although I've had my Twitter account for the best part of like nearly 2 years, but was never really active. But from January, really, when and I was kind of like behind the scene, not fully sharing what it is that I actually do. But the moment I kind of let the cat out of the bag, I've been having a lot of people sending messages in my DM. And what that has actually produced is that now I have like a dedicated Telegram space where I kind of like teach high level project management using different methodologies, right? And then if and when they want to decide to get into certification, then they can do that. But I love what Mahi shared, I think about 5-6 minutes ago with regards to learning theory, right? If you don't get any practical experience under your belt, you might as well just be learning words as far as I'm concerned, because both of it goes hand in hand, but experience is most definitely key. So there are a number of spaces that I've been to for the past couple of months or so, where, you can go into spaces, they'll talk to you about, masterclass, boot camps. And I love those spaces because obviously, they provide you with the opportunity to learn. But one thing that is quite crucial, and I'm going to keep reiterating it, it's getting that experience. Whether you want to get the certification or not, it's totally up to you. But getting that experience where you build your confidence, where you can say, I actually can apply the theory to practicality. So I will share later on once I stop talking. If you want to get into project management as a non-techie, but it doesn't stop you from being you can be a software transition into project management. And I get quite a lot of questions about how do I transition? And I'm sure you probably shared all the different ways in which people can do that. But if you're interested in that, I'll post something up later on. You can join the Telegram group. You actually have to start from the very start. I started about 3 weeks ago, and it goes through the different stages of the project management life cycle, providing practical points and practical resources that you can utilize. And what I am going to do, I think towards the end of the month, due to demand, is actually supporting people to actually get their certification if they want to. And also, I also have a couple of companies that might be interested in having some, interns for a period of 3 to 6 months. So then you have some concrete experience in your CV. There's nothing worse than getting certification and not getting any kind of experience. But yes, let me stop here. But if anyone wants to ask any question about project management, not product management, I don't mind answering about product management, but I'm very focused on project management, then most definitely come up and ask or send me a DM. And if I have time, I'll most definitely respond to you. The best place you can reach me is in the Telegram group. But yeah, thanks for having me here. And I'll stop now. Thanks.
Thank you, Buki, for coming. Right, that's quite interesting. I guess you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Buki for coming up and sharing that knowledge. And I also want to let everyone and the listeners know that if you want to get into cybersecurity, reach out to Mrs. AK. And if you want to get into project management, Buki, both of them are really very helpful. I've heard them speak in multiple spaces and I do follow their work as well. So they provide a lot of insights, and do feel free to send them a DM in terms of any kind of questions you have on project management or cybersecurity. They would definitely be happy to help you and guide you through with resources, or maybe just on steps on how to get started. So do follow them and check their work. And Be very considerate of their time when you send them a DM. Be very specific as to what you are asking. It could be not just for Mrs. AK or Bouquet, it's for all of us, right? It could be Dr. Ben, or it could be for me, or it could be even for software engineer or Joseph. Be very considerate. Don't just send hi sir, hi ma'am, wait for us to reply, because no one has that time. Be very considerate. Just be straight to the point. We don't really mind if you don't send us a hi, hello, but just be just come to the question, like what exactly or what assistance or what help you really need, and we would be happy to assist you, because that is what catches our attention amongst the hundreds of hi hellos we get on a daily basis. Yeah.
Thank you, Mari, for that timely reminder. That was very, very important. Let me quickly bring in another speaker, Muhammad. Right, Muhammad. Muhammad, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, a minute, please. Let me just quickly confirm. King Shola, can you hear me now, please? King Shola, can you speak now? Okay, okay. Mohammed, you can go home, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, thanks for having me here, and thanks for all the contribution everyone has been giving. It's really, really, really beautiful tonight, and it's been crazy all around because I'm even scared right now. But I'm trying to get all my confidence back again, just to make sure I'm on the line of trying to become a software developer. And but basically, from what Mrs. Ike have said and Mrs. Maya so far have said, I think I'm saying the field I can actually work with, because I've been asking this question for so long, like which part can I actually take? Is it cyber security or data analysis or software engineering or machine stuff and all that? And I keep getting stuck. I don't even know where to start. So the question in general is for someone who is just going into tech space, for someone who is just going into tech space. And somebody actually told me that I have to look for the feed. I think I'm looking where I can work with. But what I'm looking into is I want to work remotely from home and from my office, because I love freedom a lot. I love freedom a lot. So my question is, what feed do you think will suit me? For someone like me who wants to work freelancing and who wants to work remotely from home or from anywhere in the world. So what field do you think it will be good for me to go into so I can pour my energy and shut up? I'll put everything into it full time. Thank you. That's my question.
All right, you have an answer for that?
Um, so this is something which we've always mentioned, right? Like when you have a confusion of amongst different skill sets to choose from, you must always just do self-evaluation to see what is your interest. So if you have the time, I would suggest that explore all the opportunities in terms of just look into the job descriptions, just look into different aspects of different roles to see what exactly is your interest and where does your interest lie. For that, you just need to do a lot of research and explore all of these skill sets to see the kind of skill set that really fits into your strengths, weaknesses, and your interest level. But I guess Dr. Ben can just shed some more light on this.
Yes. You said something. Let me clarify. You said that you want a kind of job that gives you your freedom, and you want something that is remote, right? Is that correct? Hello, Muhammad, are you there?
Hello, Mohammed. Can you hear me? Oh, I guess we lost Mohammed. Let's quickly take another speaker, please. I'm struggling to pronounce this name, but let me try. Ebank. I hope I didn't murder the name. Ebank. Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you. You did more than it, but it's fine. Thank you so much. I have a question. Hello, everybody. I have a question for Buki. My name is Mbang. I'm a lawyer. I'm asking for my friend, actually. So she's a lawyer as well, and she wants to go into project management as in the tech space, like technology space. Knowing her fully well, she's good with that. But I wonder, what are the practical steps? Like, would your Telegram group be helpful for someone like her? Thank you.
No, it's a great question, and I get this question all the time. And I trained to be a lawyer as well many moons ago. So there are a number of practical steps, and it's just like any industry that you're going to transition into. The first thing is basically just understanding what your skill sets are, doing like a skill set audit, and kind of looking at the role that you want to go into. In this instance, you want to be a project manager. So you look at the requirements when it comes to, like, in terms of roles, responsibilities, duties, and all that kind of stuff. And what I will do is like pull up a JD that's relatable to the role that you want to look into, or you want to aspire to be inside. And you look at your current skill set. And the reason why you do that audit is so that you can understand where the gaps are missing. So in recognizing where the gaps are missing, is either you build on that, and then the ones that you know where your skill set are really, when you're as a lawyer, communication skills, maybe you've got great organizational skills, you've got stakeholder management, relationship building. All those are transferable skills that you can utilize, that you can add into becoming a project manager. Yeah, but we most definitely I've covered it times without numbers on the Telegram group. And what I did do with the Telegram group is that everything is saved from the very start. So when you get time, just start from the very beginning. I've done a few live Q&As in the Telegram group, not on Twitter. But if you want to ask me how I transition, I'm happy to share my journey on a private level. And you can most definitely transition into tech, becoming a project manager. These are skill set that you can utilize in any industry. So what I always say to people is never really limit yourself, because you never know where you're going to find yourself in the future. But I hope that answers your question, as not to take any other people's time. But yeah, hit me up or go to the Telegram group, ask me any questions, and I'll be happy to respond. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Bang, let me model it again for the last time. Bang, it's good to have you here. So let's quickly take Emma Ward, right? Emma Ward, I'm sure I didn't know this one. Emma Ward, can we hear from you, please?
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Emma Ward. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So basically, I have a question for software developer, or I hope I got it correctly.
Joseph is fine.
Okay, Joseph, thank you very much. Yeah, so basically, I'm a newbie.
Sorry, you can mute yourself and speak. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So I've basically gotten information from, gotten brief knowledge from digital marketing and others. But so I want to go into software developing. So I want particularly materials that I can actually get to focus on to be very good in software developing. Like something I can actually get to focus on, because I get a lot of materials online that I don't even know the one that is particularly for what I want. I hope you understand. So I want something that can actually get me what my goals in 6 to 7 months from now, or a year. Just focus on these materials and I'll be very good in software development. That's my question. Where can I get them? How do I get them? How do I start from? And that's it. And coupled with the fact that I'm doing my internship at MultiChoice. Yeah, so the time management skill is something I've actually learned already. So I just want particularly materials, research, and also guidelines to actually get me to what I want to achieve. Thank you.
All right, Sima. Okay, that's a good question, right? So, like you said, you normally used to have a lot of material scattered everywhere, and at the end of the day, you don't absolutely know where to start from, right, and which one to pick up. So it all boils down to your definition of what you wanted to do, like you said, software development, right? Software development is actually not a niche. Because the first thing you would have done is, what do I want to learn is software development. Do I want
Okay.
to, yeah, do I want to become a UI UX designer? A UI UX designer is part of the ecosystem of the software development. Do I want to be a front end developer? A front end developer is part of the whole ecosystem of software development. Even in the front end developer, you have to also make a decision. Do I want to be a web software front end developer, or do I want to be a mobile app front end developer? That's another decision entirely that you still have to make, right? Before you now start thinking of, okay, I want to actually learn back end software development. Even at that, you still have to think of, okay, do I want to actually build real-time application? What do I mean by real-time application? Application that's probably run on your PCs or your Mac that doesn't requires a browser. That's another specialist entirely. You get my point, right? So
Yeah.
if you make up this decision, if you hold on to this decision, take for an example, if you say, okay, what I want to venture into is learning mobile application front end development, then that will not guide your decision and say, okay, what are the available materials to do that? Then you now see things like Flutter, you now see things like React Native, you now see things like Android Studio. So you now, okay, which one best suits my strength? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get you, sir.
If when you get the one that best suits your strength, then you now focus, and that is basically on mobile app. Now, if your decision was on, okay, I want to be a front end web developer, you now start looking at, okay, what do I learn? Do I have to learn Python? Do I have to learn JavaScript? Do I have to learn HTML and CSS? So what the niche you create for yourself is the actual ingredient that will guide your material parts, right? So
Okay.
if you get a particular niche, then there's a material part for that niche you create. But if you just say, I want to become a software development, it is a broad topic. You cannot cover it, right? Yeah, it's too big for you to just, that's why you're seeing a scattered material everywhere. But in order to save our time, you can send me a DM. Then we can talk
Okay.
about this and see how we could streamline the roadmap that best suits you for whatever you want to become. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just a quick one, right? A lot of us are in Africa, let me use that word, and we are going to be going to the various places of work tomorrow, or we're going to be, tomorrow is Monday. I hate Mondays, and I know everybody here, a lot of people here hate Mondays, but we don't have choice. We have to work. So we just take two more questions if possible, then we'll call it a day for this week. Hopefully by next week same time we'll have another conversation like this. It will be another topic, another subject entirely. So but for today we'll just take two more questions and we'll call it a day. All right. Okay, sorry, I brought in somebody. Okay, thank God we have. Okay, Ebang. Okay, we are okay, Ebang. Okay, the lady I murdered her name. Okay, I'm trying to bring in two more people so that we can quickly take their questions and call it a day. Like we normally say,
Sorry,
please, right?
for the other time.
Yeah, but that's Mohammed, right?
Yeah, Mr. Ben was trying to say something. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Ben, please, you can wrap up on what you wanted to say on Mohammed
Yeah, real
question, if
quick,
you can.
because
Yeah.
yes, real quick. I know we don't have time again, and to that effect, I've been putting stuff on the jumbo trunk, and that is for free counseling. Because we've noticed that there's always a lot of problems knowing where to start, how to start. From one career path, you're jumping into tech, or you've just finished in your university degree, or you're just finishing NYC, you don't know how to start. So I put up a group of professionals. that are willing to call you for free. You don't need to pay anything. Just fill up the form, fill in the course you want to learn more about. They will call you for free and tell you all about the course, how to get started, the prerequisites for the course, whether you want to go for cyber security, data analysis, digital marketing, graphics and multimedia, Python programming, full stack web, whatever course, IT course you want to do, whether it's code based or no code IT courses, just fill it up there and someone is going to call you tomorrow morning and advise you on how to best start your IT career. It's free. You don't need to do anything. Just fill up the form and definitely someone will call you by morning. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Is everything frozen? Okay.
Joseph, are you there?
Oh, sorry. I actually muted my mic while I was speaking. Tosin, can you hear me, please?
Hi, yeah, I can. Good evening.
All right, please. You can go ahead with your question, please.
Yeah, so,
Adebayo, can you please help us? Sorry, Tosin,
yeah.
before you continue. Adebayo, can you please help us mute your mic? Thank you. So, Tosin, you can continue, please.
Yeah, firstly, good evening, everybody. Like I said, my name is Tosin, and the thing with me is I've actually been really confused with how to, start up my whole career path in, say, project management per se. So I graduated with business administration in 2019, NYSC in 2020, and after that, I didn't really go looking for a job per se. So I set up my own business and I was doing my thing. But now I'm in the UK. I'm studying project management as an entry. I'm studying project management as a master's course and getting, an entry level job. I see like it has a lot of requirements, and studying MSc in project management doesn't really give you the core project management, the skills, the tools to use. It just surfaces it really. So I've actually been quite confused as to, okay, what are actually the things that recruiters are looking for when, trying to, because obviously I've seen that just having an MSc in project management is not going to land you a job, especially for somebody who doesn't have any sort of experience in a project management related field. So I just saw this space and I'm like, who knows, anybody might be able to like answer or tell me something that could help.
Can I go? I know Dr. Big Ben would probably want to go as well. But can I quickly just address that quickly? Hi,
Buki, please.
Yeah, hi, Tosin. Well done on getting your master and trying to do your masters. Yeah, the educational route, yeah, it's great. It's great for you. And like you said, it is very high level. And I shared earlier on that experience is most definitely key. I mean, you can even get by. I think when Mbang was here, and I forgot to mention that if you're just transitioning into this space, there's a plethora of free online courses that you can do just for you to get a better understanding about being in this project management space. Now, to get experience, a lot of people, they don't know what to put in their CV. The fact of the matter is that you've been doing project management probably all of your life. You've just not been able to quantify it. And you probably suffer from something like a lot of us suffer from, probably imposter syndrome, where we probably feel like, well, I've not attained this level of experience, so therefore, how dare I put it onto my CV? But the fact of the matter is that there are ways in which you can quantify all your experiences onto your CV. It just takes you finding someone that's able to support you to put it onto your CV. The charity work that you've been doing all these years, maybe you're a member of a community or you're a member of a church, you going to go and support maybe every week or so, that is you there. You will find you'll find some skills or some duties that you've performed that are relatable to project assistant, project support. And one thing I would say is that if you are looking for work at entry level role, they don't normally ask you for like crazy experience. They want you to understand the methodologies of project management. They want to understand that you know how to support running a project, not for you to actually run a project. If you are trying to get a job where you are straight away wanting to be a project manager, and I see that happening within our communities, especially people that actually done one course and then decide, oh, well, I've done a course now, I'm going to be a project manager. I am telling you, if you go into a role without actually having any experience or understanding the experience that's required within this space, you're going to fall flat on your face, or you're going to constantly be asking questions and you're going to look very, very incompetent. The best thing for you to do is actually be part of a network, conversate with people within the space, get their experience, build your confidence, and look at what you're currently doing. And even if it means finding a job that is like how do you call it, where you are what is it,
Volunteer.
Yes, that's it, you're volunteering within any space.
I've been
an
actively
office.
searching for volunteer.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Have you put
I'm
it
in
out on
Leicester.
Twitter? Are you go on,
I'm in
Tosin.
Leicester, and I actually have been like, because I discovered your space yesterday. The community, I discovered
by
it
AB.
yesterday. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I also followed the Telegram channel as well.
Mhm.
So it's like I just discovered this new part because I've actually been actively searching. I've done a couple of courses on Read. I've been doing courses, not a lot.
It's the
but
experience
yeah,
that you need to put in.
exactly.
Mhm.
It's just that experience because I mean, firstly, I did finish my BSc at
Mhm.
Nigerian age wise. I finished at the age of 24, 25,
Mm.
and NYSC, and now I'm doing my master. I'm 27. So it's like you're a 27-year-old guy and you don't.
You're still young. Sorry.
Really, because honestly,
Yes,
you
you're
know,
still
like
young.
in Nigerian
Mhm.
space, and when you try to apply for a job and you're like, in fact, before you even apply, I already seen it there. They already put it 18 to 26. So it's quite like a barrier.
Sorry,
For me.
you're applying for jobs where they put age on them?
No, I'm saying like back in Nigeria.
Oh, in
Honestly,
Nigeria.
yeah.
Okay.
That's how it usually is. So I feel like that has sort of shaped my thinking in terms of how I feel when I'm trying to apply for a job. So I'm constantly like overthinking it, like
Exactly.
like
You need to change that mindset. It all starts from the mind, and I love that Mahi shared it some minutes ago. Really, really getting yourself into that mindset of I can do this, yeah. And I don't think we talk enough about it. A lot of us are actually overqualified, but for some reason or another, we have this, this feeling of imposter syndrome that we can't do it. And it's probably a topic that most people, and I'm very, very heavy on personal development. And actually, when I joined Twitter, I was very heavy on personal development rather than project management. But yeah, let's talk. There's a number of resources and a number of like people that I know that might be able to give you that work experience that you need to put onto your CV. But let's stop now because I know software wants the space back. So thanks, Tosin.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Buki. I appreciate. Thank God you know that already. All right, let's just take Lekon. Lekon, can you speak now, please?
Yeah, thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so my question is quite straightforward. So I just got a job recently as a software engineer, React and all the stuff. Then but the issue I have is the code base that I'm working on. That's the code base that the other developer worked on already. I'm supposed to work on it, and going through it is already so scary because I'm seeing so many stuff that I'm not used to because let's say because of my age now, I'm currently 21. So and the guy that did it is like a senior developer. So like I'm like really scared that I don't want to mess it up. I don't really understand what he's doing. It's like it's just really advanced. You understand? So I don't know if you can give me some tips on how to decipher that because I guess with time you just get this imposter syndrome in the sense that maybe you're not good enough, maybe because you're too young. I don't know. I don't know if you can help me out with it.
Okay, quick one. Yeah, like a lot of us run into is a problem. I have to admit that it's a problem. A lot of us run into this problem. The truth is, right? No matter how good you are, you cannot jump into someone's code and just understand it straight up, right? That is why a lot of advanced tech companies takes time to put you in a probation period. In that period, they are using it to bring you up to speed on what the whole architecture of that code base is and how to continue working or maintaining that code base. But the problem we have, I am getting in Nigeria because that is one of, am I right, Lekon?
Yeah, yeah, I'm based in Nigeria.
Absolutely. That's the problem we have, right? Because what we have is that we hire and fire, right? When you hire a particular developer, he comes and do his own magic in a particular code base. Most times we have developers, especially in Nigeria, where the pressure to work under the tension to work under pressure is too much. So a lot of developers build based on let this thing just work, not based on is this code reusable? Can someone else jump into my project and understand it as quick as possible? They don't pay attention to that because the managers or the product managers are always hammering it in their head. This thing is not working. This is so it's always just finding a way to make the code work and not reusable. So what am I saying in essence? This is the problem, right? But the advice I will give to you is the way you ask your question. I am presuming that the old person that wrote the code is no longer in the company and they are expecting you to automatically manage the code base, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. So what you will do in a typical work environment, there is a production branch and there is a staging branch and probably there is a development branch. I don't know how they created their own branch, but the two that will always be there is production and development, definitely, right?
Yeah,
There are
definitely.
production branch and development branch, right? So the
Yes.
development branch is yours to play with. So
Yeah.
the what I will advise is break things. You don't have a choice right now. Break things. You are a developer. You are confident of what you do. Break things in the development. Please don't touch the production. But in the development branch, break things there and try and find out why those things are broken. That's the first secret on understanding the code base. Don't break it as how will I put it? Just break it in terms of check the functions. Let me use the simplest modules there. Check the functions, break things in the functions, see how it works. Take your time and make them understand. This is what I want to. Don't let them see you as I'm an expert. I've got these things. I've got it up and running. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. Make them be sincere and make them understand that you need time to understand the code base because you actually need time. You are not the one that wrote it. You are not even the way they write the code base. So you need time to understand the code base. Break things, find solutions to why was this thing broken. Try and fix it. So the more you keep fixing things that you broke yourself, gradually you start understanding how the architectures work and how the flows work. Take for an example, I've worked in a particular code base, right? I don't know if you're familiar with SaaS, right? I worked in a particular code base where the previous developer wrote the SaaS in all, like you said, you're working with React. So he wrote the SaaS in all the components. Imagine
Yeah.
writing SaaS code as an inline element in all the components.
Wow.
So
That
you
must be
you
so
can
hard to read.
you can see how crazy the code base is. So you have to start doing segregation, start organizing folders and all. I'm sure yours is not as
No.
bad as that. So, but just take your time, break things, try and sort it, but be sincere with them that you need time to understand the code base. Be open-minded because there's no two ways about it. You have to understand the code base. You have to sit down, if you have an opportunity to call the person that built it, if they can still talk and give you the opportunity to speak to the person that built it, fantastic. But be open-minded. Don't try and act as if you got everything covered, because right now you got nothing covered. You have to learn it. It's not your fault. You just came in. So break things, try and fix them, and learn as you go. That's the only advice I could give you as of now. Okay?
Thank
And
you.
one more thing, of course, I will be readily available to help. You can always send me a DM. We can
I'll
talk
drop you a
about
follow now.
good stuff. We can talk about where you are having issues on the cold basis and see how we can, you know, in my own free time, see how we can sort out some little things there. So, bravo, Lekon, I hope we are good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, please, I will want to give these speakers just 1 minute each, so we can just round up and we'll call it a day. By the grace of God, we'll have the same kind of meeting next Sunday, same time. Mr. Carlo, I don't know if you're here. Mr. Carlo, are you here? Okay, I'm guessing Mr. Carlo is not available. So, Mahi, please, 1 minute, please. Just round up so we can all go to bed.
It was really great to be part of this space. I really enjoyed. I think I'm ending the Sunday on a very positive and optimistic note that we were able to help and answer a lot of questions of tech aspirants across the globe. So that's really nice. I hope all of you utilize the resources we're sharing. And like I said, just never give up attitude. Be really very optimistic. Tech industry is evolving rapidly on a day to day basis. It's getting challenging every day. So, definitely, I mean, these are honest points, right? So, anyone who's in the tech industry knows it's getting challenging on a day to day basis. There's too much to learn, there's too much to upskill. You must be like on a race with the industry in order to stay competent. In order to do that, I guess it's important that you have a really great growth kind of a mindset. Step out of your comfort zone, take risks, take chances, experiment with your skill set and your strengths and weaknesses in order to stay competent. And I guess that's the only way you would be recognized, valued, and you would have a lot of opportunities coming up your way only when you step out of your comfort zone. So reach out to the right folks, take help, tweet, if you're doing some kind of projects or anything, get into open source communities, or just put up a tweet, connect with people, or tag people who you think can help you. So just reach out to people as and when you need help. Tech Twitter community is really amazing. I can vouch for it because I've been in this tech Twitter space for, I guess, for an over a year now. I've connected with a lot of amazing folks at different hierarchies and different levels and companies across the globe. I've just met them just through spaces and DMs and tweets. I've never spoken to them directly, like I've never met them in person, but I've met great folks across globe, from Africa, London, and everywhere. So Tech Twitter is really amazing. Just put it to good use while it lasts, because you never know, right? Tomorrow tech Twitter community can just collapse. You never know what's going to happen. So just put it to use while it's there. And we will have the space open for the next 2 to 3 minutes, so you can utilize the resources that's pinned on top of the jumbo trunk, and also connect with all the followers, send them a follow, engage with them, send them DMs, and also look into the listeners and see if you're able to find. There are a lot of great folks down who are just great listeners. Like we have Jesse Picard. I see him in a lot of spaces. He's a CEO of Elevate Labs. You can connect with all of such people. So just scroll through your listener space and connect with the right folks and take help as and when needed. I hope all of you achieve your tech aspirant's dream, land in the best jobs, be optimistic, be positive, and have a great Sunday. Happy weekend and happy Monday.
Thank you, my. It's always good to have you in the house. Buki, Dr. Bell, don't be angry. Let's go, ladies first. Buki, can
Oh,
we
I
hear?
don't mind. mind. I'm all for it. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, I really appreciate taking actually, I'm so glad I came up. And thanks Mahi, and thanks software engineer. I need to get to know your name, by the way. And obviously to the main host, Kalu Aja, and also Dr. Is it Big? Yeah, Big Ben, I heard you speak earlier on and last time. And there was no reason for me to come up last time because you were smashing the questions. However, I love this space actually, and I most definitely will come back next week. What I do want people to know is when you're coming into tech, I was about to say tech. When you're coming into tech, right, you really need to understand the reason why you're doing it. Yeah. Are you coming into tech to just make the money? Are you trying to come into tech to actually build in tech? And it goes for any kind of career transition you're trying to get yourself into or you're starting out. You really need to ask yourself, why are you pursuing this career? Because that would be at the core of why you would it will build your resilience, and it will be at the core of why you would stay. Because I think someone said earlier on, sometimes when you get into this space, it's not really what you think it would be. And then when you get into this space, there's a lot of challenges. So the first thing you have to make sure is that you actually equip yourself with the right resources, one, to get the role or to get the job, and two, to sustain it. And one thing I would say is always build your career roadmap from now. Wherever you find yourself right now, build your career road. Like right now, I built my own career roadmap. I know where I want to be in the next 2 years, and I'm sticking to my goal, even though I'm getting offers right, left, and center. So what I would say is build a career roadmap that you can most possibly stick to, but at the same time, utilize every single space or resource that surrounds you. So many people are surrounded by resources, but they don't see it. You're on Twitter, you have a smartphone, you have opportunities to connect with people. You really have to build that courage to come up on stage. To all the, I don't know how many people's here, yeah? You're all here, you're listening, and you have that question you want to ask, but something inside of you is saying, I don't want to come up because I don't want to be laughed at, right? Or I don't want to ask the question. But if you don't ask, you don't get. So you need to start building that courage to start pushing yourself one step, take one foot in front of the other. So that's all I'm going to share. Personal development is very, very key. And yeah, networking, personal development, build that career roadmap, and hopefully I'll come back next week and I'll share more. But yeah, thanks, Sophie.
Oh, Wookie. Great one, yeah. Thank you so much for that. Dr. Ben, yeah, let's have your closing remark before we call it.
So yeah. So like the tech industry, your tech career constantly always evolving. It's very important that you don't remain static. You need to constantly evolve. You need to learn. You need to stay current in your skills, and this evolution I'm talking about is not just your skills. You need to revisit the most important goals you have set for yourself, and importantly, why they matter to you. You need to look at those goals and why they matter to you, and as often as you can, you need to do this. And life events might change your ambitions of what you want to do with yourself or what you want to do with your tech career. And moving up the organization can also give you more insight of what you want and what you don't want to do. So that being said, since we now know that the tech industry changes rapidly, your objectives may also change as well. And this way, you must make your career about you. The space would always change. Technology would always change. The industry is always going to change. But you must ensure that your career is all about yourself. The person that masters the most in any career conversation, and also you need to give yourself a real chance to build a tech career of your dream. That'll be all. And once again, if you're looking for how to start up in tech, or you're already in tech and you feel stranded, fill out any of the forms I've shared. We would call you for free and point you to the right direction. All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ben. It's good to always have you in the house. I know one of these days you invite me over to do what, self? What are we gonna do? Okay, we'll talk
We'll
about
talk
that in the
about
DM,
Chelsea.
right?
We'll talk about Chelsea, right?
All right, good stuff, right? So yeah, it's nice having everybody in the house. I don't know, Carlo. Okay, good, Mr. Carlo. Good evening. I've been trying to reach you. Seems probably you probably not close to your mobile. Please, have anything to say before we round up for the day?
Yeah, just to thank you guys for providing value. I mean, this is just, I listen in and I just get a lot of perceived value, more or less. So it's great you guys are doing this for everyone that is listening in, and I hope we're all taking advantage of it. So again, thanks for sharing.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Carlo, for making this always possible. Thank you. This means a lot to a lot of us and a lot of people here. You don't know how much you've been helping a lot of people here. It's just amazing what you do. So create spaces like this and allow people, to get valuable information. This is amazing, and hopefully one day when you contest for president, we all cheer you up and make sure you win the election because you're part of your entourage right now. Okay, quick one, yeah. So that would be it, guys. So hopefully we have same but probably different subjects, same time Sunday. So hopefully so for now I will say goodbye, but please try as much as possible to follow all the speakers in the house. They provide a lot of value, so check their timeline. You see a lot of value that they provide in their timeline, so try as much as possible to follow as many as you can, and so that you can turn up your notifications, so that whenever they drop a tweet you can get notified and read because sometimes writing a lot of tweets on messages on inbox is always, I don't know if it is just me, but it's always difficult for me to do so. But I take more time to create threads on my timeline, so you can go through my timeline, read the threads, keep yourself up to date on what is happening, especially on software development. And that's my niche. So you can follow all the speakers in the house. Follow Mr. Carlo too. He's a financial guru. I've been looking at his timeline. It's so rich, so rich. So please try as much as possible to grow. There's nothing that is bigger than knowledge. So wherever you want to get to in life, you need knowledge. So seek knowledge always, or absolutely the sky will be your starting point. Thank you all for coming. See you all next week. Bye.